Hello. Is my hair all over the place? Huh. Walk me through that. Episode 7. Y'all know I'm excited. I'm excited. We're gonna do this is one of my favorites. I don't know if you've tried Olipop yet, but orange squeeze, I first tried courtesy of my friend Sophie. She always has it at her house. And now she told me she always has crisp apple because that's my first favorite. Is the second shelf is nothing but crisp apple. And then the first and third shelves are other flavors. But all Olipop though. I love it. Okay. So episode 7, I think we will get to 2, maybe 3. I'm trying my best. And then did you know that I do quickies? So they are called Walk Me Through That, but quickly. So I do those 3 days a week to help you, just get a jump start on your day. It's 60 seconds. So it's really quick. Be sure to check those out. They're called shorts here on YouTube. Anyway, all right, let's get into it. First up says, I haven't been working in a traditional sense for almost 2 years now. I'm helping my husband off and on, maybe an hour a week. That's a whole other story. I am doing lots of small other volunteer things. I am on the board of my daughter's rowing team. I lead a mom's prayer group once a week. It's 1 to 2 hours. I have a Bible study group once a week for a few hours. I'm also trying to be available to help my parents who are in their late 70s and periodically need to go to doctor's appointments, refill meds, run errands, etc. And I'm a mom to 2 girls and I run a household. While I know that God has me in a season of availability, I still feel untethered. There are 2 things in my week that are concrete: Bible study and mom's prayer group. All the other things are random and aren't typically scheduled. How can I find some boundaries and a more predictable schedule? I do need to be flexible to a degree because my parents don't make appointments with my schedule in mind. I still have 1 daughter who doesn't drive. Part of me wants to go back to traditional work to find that structure I feel I want. Now, if I did that, who knows how all the other things I've said yes to would fit. The only thing I'm committed to next fall is the start of a new year in this board position. Okay, so there are a couple of things to help you walk through this effectively. One is off top. Let's start with what you said, which is, I know God has me in a season of availability. So what I'm going to say that you're not going to like is, you're in that season, but you don't like it. And so you're trying to do something other than be where you're supposed to be. Now, we can do a lot of things, but if we begin to do things that we know He doesn't want us to do, we'll be here again. So question 1 for you is, you want to be here again? You want to be here again? I know you don't want to be here again because you don't like this now. So you're definitely not going to like a repeat lesson. So stop trying to do something other than be available. That's 1. 2, a big thing about availability that I think is a problem for you is where you said, your parents make doctor's appointments without you in mind. You can change that. You can either change that by talking to them, and when you talk to them, not say, ask me first or anything like that. That may be abrasive for them. But you can say, hey, if you could make your doctor's appointments on Tuesdays or Thursdays, Mondays or Wednesdays, just give them 2 days. And then that helps you to know these days are for doctor's appointments. See if they're good with that. Now, if they aren't, you then have 2 choices. 1, you cannot go. I mean, that's going to be against your season of availability, but you could not go temporarily to show them that we got to work together. Or 2, you can then say, okay, call the doctor's office and change the appointment. It's up to you. Those are your choices. But if you're trying to be available and not feel untethered, I think you got to get comfortable with your season of availability. You probably need to go in deeper and ask God why He has you available. Share with Him your weakness in this. I think a lot of times God puts us in seasons and we so mad at the season because we don't want to be mad at Him. But He knows your heart. He knows you're really aggravated with this season, which is i.e. Him, because He put you in it. So you might as well tell Him so that y'all can work through it. The other thing I want to say is that if you're trying, I led with the doctor's appointments because the refilling meds, the running errands, the things with the kids, those are all, you can kind of fix those, right? To be available, yet not feel so untethered. I think it is the doctor's appointments, the random things that you're talking about and all of that. That's the season that you're in. And if God put you there, unless you want to repeat this season, I suggest you get comfortable. One of the ways to get comfortable is when you have nothing, do nothing, or do something that means something to only you. Most of the time when we have nothing, we fill it with stuff. That will continue to make you feel untethered. Just know that. So you got to find your space in there. And I think you're continuing to fill it, or you're prepping for some unknowns that may or may not happen. Different things like that kind of hinder this season that you're in. I'm telling you, the biggest thing is to get comfortable with this season so that you don't repeat it. There was one other thing I was going to say. Oh, now you should grab your drink, because let me tell you something. If you go out and get a job, just know that you're going to repeat this season. Just know, because getting a job so that you can feel more structure takes you out of the season of availability. Do with that what you will. That is me walking you through it. I know you're not gonna like it. I know you're not gonna like it, but there you go. I laugh so much at this for people who don't know, because the person that submitted this has followed me on Instagram for a long time. We've met in person now twice. And I coached her husband and still do periodically. So I know her. And so she's not going to like that. But moving on. Number 2, my question is how to respond / handle my husband's concern for our 20-year-old son. He is a sophomore in college. My husband thinks he's in the wrong major. It doesn't fit him, and he's concerned that he doesn't have a real job, she put it in quotes, so I'm showing you, this summer, and that he might just be waiting tables. Ultimately, he's always felt our son does what he has to do to get by, and I think he's worried he's going to graduate without a plan. Our son is very laid back, and his motto in life is probably everything will work out. Should I be more concerned? Should my husband be less concerned? I feel caught in the middle and not sure the best way to help our son navigate this time in his life, and also to be on the same page as my husband. So unfortunately, you can't have both. You can't be with a son who's laid back and motto is, it's all gonna work out, and your husband who is concerned. And the reason that you can't have both is because they seem like they're opposite. And so what's your job? Your job is to listen more than you talk, because at 20, what can you really do? Let's be honest. He's in college. Now, I'll say this, you don't want him to be wasting your money. So what you can do is have a conversation with your son about the future. And I would take baby steps. So the future could be this summer, and then you could go to the fall. So this summer, do you have a job that's close to your major? He says, no, I don't think I need one. Okay, well, we're in May. So you just gonna need to go with that. But then when it comes time for the summer to end and the fall is here, what classes are you taking? Where is that leading you? You need to kind of know where he thinks he's going. He may not feel, see, it's more than just the major. It's what does he feel his life's mission is? Now remember, his prefrontal cortex isn't fully developed, so he may not have that. And that's where your guidance would come in. But with his ideas in mind, I'm not speaking on your husband at all, because I don't think you can change that. And I don't think it's your job to. Everybody, he's gonna parent how he's gonna parent, and y'all are gonna come together on some things. But if you want to help this situation, which is what I think you want to do, then dealing with your son is the best way to help. Having a relationship with him, understanding his view, what he thinks, and sharing with him how there are times to be, it's all gonna work out, but there are also times to get to work and do some things so that we can ensure it's all gonna work out. So I would think that that's where you would need to go. First is on the son side, and really hear him and understand him. If you get to hearing him and understanding him and having deeper conversations than surface level, you may be able to share that with your husband. That insight may help him in his relationship with your son. But just trying to make him less concerned? I don't know, because sometimes the concern is right. The tone of the conversation, the aggression, or I'm not saying your husband's being aggressive, but the tone of the conversation and the things that he may be saying and his rapid fire and how he wants things to happen may be more of your issue than where your son is. So I would say start there. Start with your son. It's May. It may be too late for finding him a job, but it's never too late to have a private dinner, just you and him at a restaurant, and talking about his life and where he thinks it's going and what he dreams of doing and how he sees going after that dream. That leads you to better insight, and that's what you need. Because when you have someone that is very laid back, you have to have these conversations in small bursts, because big conversations, deep thought tends to overwhelm them, and they know you have a purpose and they shut down. And so you don't want that, right? The summer is here, but the future is still the future. So try to have small conversations about the future. All right, one last one. Can we do one more? Let's do one more. How to handle different priorities around physical health in a marriage. One sees the importance and wants to focus on it, and the other doesn't. So off top, I'll say you can't live someone else's life. You're married to them, but you're not their mother or their father. But a female wrote this, so you're not their mother. You can suggest things and you can have conversations, but you have to do it in a way that speaks to them. So what speaks to your spouse? Does it speak? Do you have children? Does it speak to your spouse to say, I want you to be there for our kids, but not, like I said in the last person, you have to be able to communicate effectively. And so that's usually pillow talk is great with spouses, dinner is great, car rides. Lower the guard first with empathy before you go in. Find out why health isn't important to them. You know, I'm a person who likes to ask questions. And to me, questions are better than statements. So find out why health isn't important. Your health seems very important to me, but it doesn't seem that important to you. Why is that? That'll help you understand them. Now, if you think, I was very gentle when I asked the question Aretha told me, and he still got aggressive, then you step away from that and come back. Use technology. This is gonna sound crazy, but it may work. I don't know y'all communication style. Send it in an email, send it in a text, because that's what you need to know. You need to know why it's more important to you than him. And if he says, no, it is important to me, I just don't know how to work out. I just don't, if he opens up and tells you why it's important, don't make his answer seem dumb. Don't make his answer seem like a cop-out, because he answered and he gave it to you. So you got to go in with some walk me through that energy. Be like, how do we fix you not taking your medicine every day? Because it's important. What's your general stance on medicine? Do you not think it works? Like, there are so many questions you can ask for clarity. Even though you think you know everything and you're pretty clear, just get clear from his perspective. Asking questions in this kind of situation will help you more than just having a conversation and saying, why don't you take your medicine? That's a question, but it's not in the right tone. Your health is very important to me, and I don't want to seem like your mother, so why doesn't it seem as important to you? What do you mean? What do you mean, why doesn't it seem important to me? Well, because you are on this medication to help with this, but it has to be taken every day, and you'll go X amount of days without taking it. And so to get healthy, we keep stopping the clock on that because you're not being consistent. Is it hard for you to be consistent? Does the medicine make you feel a way? And then just stop talking and listen. All right, y'all, that's today's episode of Walk Me Through That. I hope so much that I helped the 3 people that gave submissions. As always, please, please, please continue to send submissions. They're the heart of the show. There's a Google form to make it easy for you to send your submissions in. It's in the bio. It will always be there. It's linked there. You can always DM me or comment here There's the email address. However, there's also a voicemail. Like, I try to give so many things, but whatever you're comfortable with to submit your walk me through that situation, issue, challenge that you're facing, I'd love to help you walk through it. Subscribe to the channel, of course, and share it with as many people as you can without being annoying. All right.